Hi, my name is Eric Smith. This is an excerpt from my pet project, Stories from Q-Ville. Mukluk was born on Jabu Island. His parents lived in a cottage on the edge of the floating island, in an area surrounded by trees. Mukluk's father, Zabo, was a wizard with a short goatee of graying-black hair and orange eyes. Ophelia Brant, Mukluk's mother, was a woman of no magical ability. She came from a small village on the western desert of Enforgio called Gazpa the Spectre. Ophelia had to leave her town in a hurry. Zabo had been coming to the saloon that she had been working at and had teleported her to Jabu Island when what they called the darkness rolled into Gazpa the Spectre. Zabo teleported back to the village on the very next morning. He found that the whole town had been killed. The buildings were all intact, seemingly untouched. There were skeletons everywhere. Horse skeletons, dog skeletons, human skeletons of varying sizes, and even a centaur skeleton. It seemed that the dark smog was corrosive. Zabo went back home and through tears reported his findings to Ophelia. She was devastated, but wanted to see it for herself. Zabo insisted that she didn't, but agreed to take her nonetheless. He ensured that he positioned their arrival so that they would be looking at the pond near the town sign instead of getting blasted by the destruction. As they turned slowly, Zabo assured her that it was horrendous and held her hand. She gave the scream that resembled that of a banshee. She ran to her apartment, which was above the bank, and found the skeletons of her pet chicken, Roja, and her mother, Esmeralda Brant. She fell to her knees as Zabo walked through the door. He immediately grabbed onto her and held her, consoling and crying. As Ophelia grabbed some of her personal effects, Zabo magically lifted the skeletons and gathered the rest of the town's skeletons in the same manner. He then made a hole next to the church at the end of town. He put the bones of all the people and the creatures in the hole. Ophelia joined him and they gave the village a funeral. Zabo made all the dirt fall back into the hole and pointed his wand at a large rock nearby. He carved, "Here lies the entire population of Gazpa the Spectre, sans one survivor named Ophelia Brant. An unknown entity wiped out all the citizens with a dark fog on March 12, 1891. R.I.P." into the stone. 10 years later, on December 30th, 1901, Ophelia gave birth to their first and only child. The infant was named Mukluk.